Hello, in this video I want to talk about training your dog to walk on a nice loose leash. I recently had to observe a dog where the dog actually restrains and doesn't want to walk with its human. So the human wants to walk in position A to B, but the dog wants to walk in the opposite direction. So what happens is the dog restrains and happens to sit in that particular position and doesn't want to go with the human. So when you have a dog like this, the first thing that I would like to do is to train the dog to come towards you. So essentially we are teaching the dog that following the human is very rewarding. So we are aiming to do that, and shortly I'm about to demonstrate what it is going to be like. I would like to state a couple of things before training this particular exercise. Alright, to begin with, it is very important that you prepare for your session before you actually bring out your dog to train. So here is what I would like to do. You can see I have a couple of high value treats. This is fish on stick. I don't know, something. This is something that my dog likes, and I have some dog biscuits. So what I do is I mix these cookies. So it's usually in a ratio about 30-70. So let's say this is 30% of what I wanted to add, and this would be 70. Like essentially the less value is more than the high value, and the reason why I do this and not the converse is because I would like you to see the environment I'm about to train. So the environment is very boring. When you train a dog a new thing, pick up an environment which is very, very boring for the dog. That means that the dog has nothing better to do than listening to you. This is very important. So I have the cookies mixed in a 70-30 ratio, 70 of low value and 30 of higher value. And the next important step is not to carry the treat on your hand, which means you either have to put it in a pocket or you have to use a dog training pouch, or in my case I would like to use this jacket. So if you're somewhere around Decathlon, you can get this from Decathlon. I got this from Decathlon, and it costs about 1,000 rupees. I'm not really sure about the price, but this vest is so comfortable when it comes to training a dog. So here's what I do. I pick the cookies, and my dominant hand is right, so I use my right hand pocket, and the treats are kept in the pocket. This way I have both my hands to use for training, and if at all you want to have a leash in one hand and a clicker in the other, it's going to be very, very handy if you have a vest like this. So this is really important. These are the preparation steps. Although it is not mandatory, although it is not very essential, if you are someone who are in the beginning stages of training, I highly recommend having a vest or a dog training pouch. The reason being, this helps you to get your timing right. So when your dog does a behavior, you mark the behavior first and then you go for the reward. So that is why we have all these in place. Alright, so now I have everything in place. I would also like to have another tool, which is the leash and the collar. So what this does is, it adds an additional layer of structure to your dog when you train your dog. So even though the space is limited, the dog cannot run, I would still prefer to have him on a leash. Alright, now I have listed out all the steps. I would like you to see what the end session or what the end result of this particular exercise would look like. Like I told you, this exercise is to draw the dog towards you, right? All we are training the dog is that following the human is going to be rewarding. It's the only thing we are training in this session. And before I bring my dog, here's the mechanics. So you have the treat ready, right? And you hold the leash, like your dog will be leashed. You hold the leash, and then you take a couple of steps backward, let's say 2 steps. And then when your dog keeps following you, like if your dog even moves an inch towards you, reward that, right? And again take another 2 steps, and if your dog comes towards you, reward your dog. At the very beginning stages, you don't even have to mark. The reason being, we are just bringing in the practice of following the human, right? Once we see this behavior consistently, or in a more reliable fashion, we can then start marking and then we can vary the reinforcements. So the initial few sessions should be focused on getting the dog motivated in the game, and most importantly, keeping the game short and fun for your dog and for you as well. Alright, so let's see things in action. Okay, now that you saw my dog, performing this exercise without the leash, we are going to take a look with the leash on. Let's watch. Alright, I hope you saw the exercise with the leash on and off. The thing is, this is the very first exercise that I would like to do when the dog restrains, right? And once, let's say you practice this with your dog for about a week, your dog should be very comfortable following you and should not restrain by the end of the week if you keep this consistent. I would suggest you to do this exercise, at least 3 times a day, which will take about 6 to 8 minutes in total, like 2 minutes per session, and then keep it going for about 5 to 7 days consistently, like never miss a day. So that way your dog should be comfortable following you, and he should already have the feeling that following you is really rewarding, right? And then it becomes easier to train your dog to be on your left or on your right. That way we can practice, loose leash walking. Alright, I hope you got something useful from this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments what you liked about this video and what you disliked. We'll meet in another video shortly. Thanks.